Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Got that Friday feeling, haven't I? How we doing, everyone? Sam here, United People's TV. I'm live. It's Friday, the 24th of September. The shoulders are shaking. It must nearly be the weekend. We've got an early kickoff against Villa, 12:30 on Saturday. Win that, head into the weekend. Lovely jubbly. Lose that, maybe not so much. But how are we all doing? It's Friday. It's nearly the weekend. It's an exciting one. It's interactive as always. The map is coming back today. Might get a few of you on that map if you're lucky. And I'm speaking about Solskjaer's warning to Manchester United's players. I want to explain what that is, and I'll discuss it in a bit more detail. I'm going to discuss Anthony Martial because his name keeps popping up. You hopefully saw my video yesterday. I want to discuss that with you in a little bit more detail. We're going to speak about an article on The Athletic about David De Gea and his renaissance. We're speaking about early team news for Villa on Saturday. We're looking at Declan Rice and how Manchester United maybe we're going to be looking elsewhere for a new central midfielder. It's going to be a busy show. Everyone's watching on Facebook. Everyone's watching on YouTube. I can see all the mods in the comments as always. I can see here plenty of people watching on Facebook as well. We've got Okonkwo. We've got Zahid. We've got Yusuf. We've got everybody. Plenty. And of course, Solskjaer needs warnings too about things that he needs to improve, but ultimately the manager will be the first person to fire the warnings out, and that is exactly what he's been doing after this game against West Ham. It was a very disappointing game against West Ham, and of course, it exposed some weaknesses in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's management, but the manager will always be, I don't know how to describe it, but the players are just as responsible, right? So let's discuss that in this video. What I'm going to do throughout it, as I always do, I answer your comments. So you interact with the video, you drop a like on the video, you leave your comments and your opinions in the video, and I'll try and give you as many shout outs throughout the entire stream as I possibly can. Subscribe if you're new as well. And if you would, on YouTube, fire in your super chats. Always support the channel. And it's Friday. Get that Friday feeling. But I want to speak about the reaction that we need to see against Aston Villa on Saturday. Look, rewind a week on Friday. Going into the weekend, we were playing West Ham. What feeling were we in? We were in off the back of a disappointing midweek defeat. It was Young Boys last week. It's West Ham in the Cup this week. Manchester United in the league, flying high. Joint top on points. No one scored more goals than us. Very strong start to the Premier League season. Not so much in terms of cup campaigns. We lost our first Champions League game to Young Boys. Then we beat West Ham. Then we lost to West Ham in the League Cup. So hopefully we can be beating Aston Villa this weekend. That is the absolute intention of Manchester United. And I really want to speak about what Solskjaer has been saying ahead of that game. Let's have a look. Tim, not an Ole that one. Really isn't. And you know I'm not an Ole fan. Liverpool put kids out and they were outstanding. Look, there was a full... It might have been a completely different 11, but it was still a set of players against a completely changed West Ham team as well. They didn't seem massively unlinked. The West Ham seemed decent from the start. But that's the issue. That's the warning for Manchester United players from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it all revolves around the starts of games. And I want to speak about this in a little bit of detail because I think it's hugely, hugely important. I'll explain why. Solskjaer, I wasn't very pleased with the start at all. No. The response was great again, but we can't find ourselves in these situations and expect to get the wins that we have done fantastically in the last year and a half. We need to start games better. Now, I have said this all along. I've said this is one of the most crucial things that Manchester United have not been able to do under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, really. Not consistently anyway. And that is a massive thing that's missing from our game. Let's quickly take a look at the results that have happened so far this season. You can see here, Man United, we played Leeds 5-1. What happened there? We didn't score until the 30th minute. That was probably one of the strongest starts we've had to the game. I think we pressed quite well against Leeds. We exploited the space that they left us. That was a good game. Then we look at Southampton. We conceded an own goal after the 30th minute, and it wasn't until Mason Greenwood's goal in the 55th that United really got into that game. That was a poor start to the game. Then we've got Wolves. We didn't score until the 80th minute. To say that we were a slow start in that game is absolutely fair. If it wasn't for David De Gea, we might have lost that game against Wolves. A very poor start. Man United against Newcastle. That was at home. Ronaldo's return. United scored in the 47th minute. I mean, it was still quite a slow start. It wasn't the slowest of starts, but again, not until the 45th minute. Ironically, The earliest goal we've got this season was 13 minutes against Young Boys, the game we eventually bloody lost. But Manchester United need to start games better. It's as simple as that. That's the warning that Solskjaer has given the players, and it's the warning that I think is really prevalent and important, because for me, I think this is a key contributor to the Ole out United fans. Once upon a time, when we all watched Manchester United, especially at Old Trafford, we got used to the feeling of watching United coming out against pretty much any team and just dominating the first 15, 20 minutes. Invariably, we would get an early goal in a lot of those games, and getting that early goal forced our opposition to play. If they came to United to play defensive, they immediately couldn't do that because they were 1-0 down. They had to get a goal to even get a draw, which is the minimum of their requirements. Therefore, if they came to Old Trafford with the intention of sitting deep and disciplined, they couldn't do it anymore because we had gone in quick and early with that goal in the first 20. We haven't really done that enough. And what we need to do against Villa, and what we need to build into a pattern of our game, and I genuinely think this will happen across the course of the season. I think we'll get better as the season goes on at doing this with the players we've got now. It's not something that can change overnight, that mentality. But we need to start stronger. We need to start on the front foot. We need to go. It's like when you watch United in the last 15, 20 minutes of games. If we're chasing a goal against West Ham, you saw how intense we were in the press. You saw how intense we were in the tackle, how high up the pitch we were winning the ball. And it made a difference. It made a difference to the pressure that West Ham were under. Ultimately, we didn't have the clinical finishing because we didn't have Ronaldo and we didn't have our main players on that in that game against West Ham. And the backup fringe players just didn't do enough. United need to have that sort of mentality in the first 15 to 20 minutes of games. If we start doing that, trust me, that's going to change so much in terms of the mentality of both of the players, also of how the fans feel when they're watching Man United. That's a big thing that we've missed for a long time, man. A long time. And that's why people get so frustrated when you sit there and you watch City play, you watch Liverpool play, you watch Chelsea play. Because you watch them, and for the first 20 minutes of their games, mostly you're like, you get impressed straight away. United are slow burners. We've been slow burners the whole time under Solskjaer, really. That's why we've been so good when we come in from 1-0 down, and our response has always been great. It's the same way as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When he's massively under pressure as a manager, United's players respond. We're great at responding. We're not very good proactively. And to win the Champions League, to win the Premier League, to get that respect from other teams, you have to be proactive rather than just reactive. At the moment, United are a very good reactive team. We go 1-0 down. Whoa, we're better. Solskjaer's under pressure. Oh, we're better. We need to lead from the front. It's exactly why we went top of the league last year and our asses fell out. We didn't know what to do when we weren't being that team that was chasing, when we weren't being that team that was being reactive and trying to catch someone above us. When we were trying to be proactive and trying to set the pace for others to chase, we couldn't do it. We didn't know what to do, and we struggled. That's the issue that we've got. That's the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems, certainly, I would say. And it's a warning from Solskjaer there. I wasn't pleased with the start. We need to start games better. And I think, look, that goes in two directions. We need to start games better, sure. The players, they have to start better. But at the same time, Solskjaer has to give them the freedom. Just like in the last 15, 20 minutes of games, you watch United, and as I said, we're more aggressive in the press, more aggressive with everything we're doing, like we're chasing that goal. We have to do that in the first 15, 20. Certainly at Old Trafford. Home should be your fortress, man. It's weird that away from home, our form is incredible by comparison of how we are at home. That needs to change. That really does need to change. I'm going to go down to the comments now, read a few of your comments out here. But as always, throughout the entire stream, keep leaving your opinions down there. I'll try and read a few of them out. And subscribe if you're new. Why not? Hafiz, I'm a huge fan of Ole, and I seriously hope he succeeds. But he hasn't shown any sign of winning since he's been here. I mean, that's a bit of a lie. We've won plenty of games. We finished second last year. The progress has been not complete, but substantial. Tim, Ole isn't going anywhere. Whatever your personal thoughts are, he's going to be here all season. It's on him now. We have the players. Fans are connected to the team. Old Trafford is rocking again. Ronnie will give us a great chance. So Ole has nowhere to hide. I don't think Ole is looking for somewhere to hide. I think what Ole wants, Ronaldo is going to make a big difference. That's what I said. I think this sort of, we need to start games better. That mentality, it's going to start rubbing off from Ronaldo, from Varane, from everybody that we do. Look, we are United, man. Yeah, let's go and let's start games better. But it comes from the players, it comes from the manager, it comes from everything at the same time. So my warning back to Solskjaer would be, give players the freedom to really go at it in the first 15 to 20. Tell them, say, look, let's go and let's get that early goal. Let's score within 20 minutes. Let's go gun ho. Let's go. I want to see that from Solskjaer. Obviously, we won't see that because we're not privy to those conversations. But I want to see, I hope that that's the conversation that Solskjaer is having with his players, because it's the biggest, honestly, man, it transforms the entire 90-minute performance. That first 20 minutes sets the tone. And the tone for a lot of United fans for a long time has been frustrating, slow, cumbersome, United not in control. Then when we react, it's great, but then they're like, well, do you not remember the first 20 minutes? So it's never a complete happiness with a lot of fans. And then when we lose, they're like, exactly as what I was telling you about. And the problems come back to the surface. We're creating our own issues by not trying to dominate from the start. We need to do that against Villa, man. That's what I want to see. And it's not just Villa. This has to be the pattern that begins. Of course, going into certain games, you can't do that. Going into Anfield away, you're not going to go gun-ho for the first 15, 20 minutes because you're away from home at Anfield. You want to try and not concede in the first 15, 20 and then bring it out. But exactly that. Our mentality, and it's the right mentality to have. Our mentality when we go to Anfield in the first 20 minutes is just don't concede. That's what we want to force teams to think when they come back to Old Trafford. And they used to. They really did used to. Old Trafford was a very tough place to come. Over the last few years, we've given every team, from your Norwich to West Brom to Villa, the belief that in their head that they can come to Old Trafford and get a result. And they play differently because of it. We need to re-establish that dominance at Old Trafford, especially. Away from home, I can't really... I mean, you can fault United, but we're unbeaten in like 30 games. So am I really going to say that we need to improve away from home? No, I'm not. But at home, we have to, and it comes in that 20 minutes. Let me go down here and see what you're thinking in the comments. Reggae, you're saying you're very right. We must start games better. Ole should change the formation to a 4-3-3 or 4-1-2-3. Don't think that will happen, Reggae. It all depends on Manchester United signing that defensive midfielder. I'll speak about Declan Rice later on. But I don't think we're going to switch away from the 4-2-3-1 this season. Anthony, teams know to defend deep for the first 45 minutes against us because we don't dominate the central midfield. And Cicera, you're saying, Sam, I think we must start aggressive from the point we have the quality. And look, teams do know how to defend deep, and they do defend deep. But United need to, as I said, it's on United to re-establish themselves as Manchester United. We don't do that at Old Trafford. And I personally think this is such a huge part of why people don't back Ole completely. Why there's still quite a decent sized contingency of United fans who are Ole out of the first opportunity. I personally think it's around that domination or lack of domination in the start of games, because it sets the tone for the full 90 minutes. It sets the tone for the games. And at Old Trafford, it sets the tone for a lot of frustration, because I'll be honest, our best performances really have come away from home. We've had leads at 5-1 when someone attacks us, but that's because someone attacks us, leaves spaces behind. And that's when our style works in the first 20 minutes. But most teams aren't going to do that at Old Trafford because they're not stupid. They know how to play against us. They just sit deep. And I don't know. I just want to see it against Villa. Hell, it might backfire. Villa might get an early goal because we're going too aggressive. Cool. Let's see what happens, because we know at that point that we're going to play better anyway. I want to see United go at it for the first 20. As Top Dog says, look, let's kill the games off early. Boom. Get that first goal in. Boom. Get that second goal in. As soon as he gets to 2-0, United can sit into a comfortable shape with the players that we've got. Varane, Maguire, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka and De Gea is a superb back five. If our attackers, and our attackers can, we've scored more goals in the Premier League than any team. Ronaldo. Who's playing there at the moment? Sancho, Pogba, Greenwood. We've got so much quality, and we're going to get the goals, man. We just have to start quick. Rishav, what are you saying? Do you reckon Villa are going to park the bus or bring the game to us? If they open up, we might be in for a goal fest. Of course, Villa won't park the bus, but Villa will sit in shape and sit defensively. Why would they do anything else? Because it works against United at Old Trafford. And because United haven't done that, haven't gone aggressive in the first 25 minutes of games, it's very simple, very easy to set up against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Once upon a time, it was very difficult. You didn't know what to do. You didn't know where to stand. You didn't know where to look. Now it's very simple. Sit in two lines, sit in shape, stay disciplined, get it up, try and hit on the counter. That's all you have to do against United at Old Trafford. We have to make it harder for teams to play us. Ian, I agree completely, Sam. My main criticism of Ole's tenure as manager has been our starts. It felt like last season we only started playing when we conceded. It's something that we've really kind of seen this season as well. It's a big problem pattern that has established itself under Solskjaer. I think it comes, if I'm being honest, down to Solskjaer's natural underdog mentality. I think Solskjaer has. That's why he's so good as a manager when the chips are down, when your back's against the wall. That's when Solskjaer comes through. When United are 1-0 down, the players, they represent that. When Solskjaer's job is under threat, the players, they represent that. United have been great at coming back from adversity, but never been able to really push on from that once they've reached that. It's been like a yo-yo backwards. They've never been able to take that next leap forward. And that, for me, is starting these games strongly. I want to see it. Solskjaer has warned it. We had a quick look at the results we've had this season. Ironically, Young Boys was the only game where we scored in the first 20 minutes. Let's have a look here. I think so. Anyway, yeah. We didn't do it against Leeds. That was 30. We didn't do it against Southampton or Wolves or Newcastle. Yeah, the earliest goal we've scored this season. What was in that game? Yeah, the earliest goal we've scored this season was Young Boys in the 13th minute. Other than that, we haven't scored a single goal before the 30th minute. That is the biggest problem we have right now at Manchester United, in my opinion. I mean, there are other problems you can point out. Of course there are. Tactical, substitutions, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, if United start coming out early, who we got now? We've got West Ham, we've got Villa, we've got Villarreal, and then it starts getting a bit spicy. Let's have a look at the fixtures together. That's what I mean, man. We've got to get used to getting these faster starts, because look what we got coming up. Next two games, Villa and Villarreal, both at Old Trafford. Manchester United are going to be favourites there. Manchester United need to lead out, get the early goals, boom, take control. Because you get an early goal, this Old Trafford crowd right now is as loud as it has been in a long, long time. This Old Trafford crowd is properly behind this team. And Manchester United need to use that to their advantage. And what's the best way to use that to their advantage? Get the early goal. Get Old Trafford bouncing. Get that early goal against Villa. Get that early goal against Villarreal. Watch United bounce. Then we play Everton. Then we've got an international break. Joy of joys. Then we've got Leicester away. Atalanta at home. Liverpool at home. Spurs away. Atalanta away. That period there, 6 games in a month, that's where we're really going to start cranking it up. And if we don't do it and we don't start these games fast, you can't really do that away at Leicester. You can't really do that at home to Liverpool. You can't really do that away to Spurs, because you get punished. You will get punished against these better teams. Simple as that. And we've got 2 crucial games against Atalanta, home and away in the Champions League. Jonathan saying, very naive of Ole to say in a press conference his team can't handle low blocks. I was a bit surprised by that comment, Jonathan. I'll be honest. I don't really know why I said that. It kind of sounded like a pundit rather than a manager. We all know it. But Solskjaer, it's not really your job to say that, mate. Colin, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Come on, ladies and gents, fire any super chats. It's Friday. I'm going to head to the map soon as well. Get you on the map. What's happening with Cavani? Injuries, mate. Fitness-wise, I think he's returned to training this week. Maybe Solskjaer will give a little bit more insight into that in his press conference this afternoon. But Cavani's not fit to play yet, as far as we're concerned. But as I said, we've got 13 goals in the league this year. We've got Ronaldo. We've got Greenwood. We've got Pogba. We've got Bruno. We're doing okay without Cavani at the moment. That's for sure. Fear and confidence is our problem, says Ara. That comes from the owners not buying a defensive midfielder and also the lack of knowledge from Solskjaer. Fear, I don't know whether it's fear. I think it's self-belief. You can probably argue that self-belief is fear. But we need to have that self-belief and confidence that we can go out in that first 20 minutes and get that early goal. Maxwell, what are you saying? I feel for Ole. He's probably on his way out. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. I wouldn't say he's on the way out in any way, shape, or form. As I said, ladies and gents, mate, we're joint top of the Premier League right now. Yeah, we've lost our first game against Young Boys. Ultimately, that won't define our season if we win the rest of our Champions League games. Yes, we lost against West Ham in the League Cup. That won't define any season. If you're looking at those two games and you're going to lose one against West Ham, you want to lose the League Cup and you want to win the Premier League. In the league, we're doing very well right now. And that is our greatest measure. And that's where we need to maintain it. That's why Villa is so important. Villa at home shouldn't be a massively significant game in the season. But when it comes to Manchester United, when it comes to losing 2 games in a row, that's when the momentum starts to build in the wrong direction. That's why Villa has taken a bigger significance on Saturday than it should have, because we lost against West Ham in the League Cup, which ultimately means nothing for the course of the season. But losing against West Ham and then losing at home to Aston Villa, 2 games at Old Trafford within the space of 5 days, that's bad news. That's when negative momentum will start to build. Let's go down here. David, how you doing? Nice to see you there. I'll tell you what, let's head to the map in a second. What are we looking at? Let's see if we can get to a new milestone today on the live stream together. Come on, ladies and gents. It's Friday. Get that Friday feeling. All we need is 40 subs. 40 subs and we'll hit 207. We're doing a big giveaway at 210. Remember that. I did a big giveaway at 200. Craig has now received that all the way out in South Africa. The Evra hoodie, the Evra signed letter, the presentation box. Glad that finally came, Craig. Enjoyed that. 205 sent a CR7 shirt to Sir Deza out in Nigeria. All around the world, the Reds are. So 40 of you, hit that subscribe button, get involved. And you let me know where you're watching from in the comments. And I will give you A, shout out, but B, add you on to the fabled map is back. 200 map points we've got on here at the moment. If I haven't added you onto the map, you let me know where you're watching from, the town and the country, and I can get you added onto the map, ladies and gents. It's Friday. We bring the interactive map back on a Friday. Colin, there's a report saying Frank Kessie is linked to us. Do you think he'll be good enough? Frank Kessie, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. Frank Kessie was absolutely fantastic for AC Milan in both games against Manchester United. Really dominant in midfield. Wasn't just a defensive. He was great going forward too. Great progressive midfielder. He really, really impressed me, Frank Kessie. And I would almost be surprised if Manchester United scouts were not looking out for him. Let me go down here though and look at the map. John, I can see you here watching from North Yorkshire, mate. North Yorkshire, get Scarborough on map. On you go. Scarborough. What a beautiful place. There she goes. John, drop a like on the page as well. Welcome. You're in. You're involved. Look at that. We've got Dui fan watching from Ho Chi Minh. Awesome. Your pricing plan has a limit of 200 pins per map. If you need to add more pins, please consider upgrading. Well, that's fantastic news, isn't that? Just fantastic. There's too many bloody pins on the map. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. And I've already upgraded twice. How many more times have I got to upgrade? You guys and girls, you're costing me all sorts of money. Let me see what the plans are. I don't know where to do it. I'm going to have to do this after. But don't worry. I'll add more of you onto the map. That was quite embarrassing. Got one added onto the map and it was like, nah, you've already reached your limit. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be a nice interactive Friday. We got one on. Scarborough. Scarborough's on the map. We'll get more on. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But let's move on to the next point. Now, if you saw my video yesterday, I hope you did. You saw that I did this. I did a video on Anthony Martial. I asked whether he was finished at Manchester United. Bit of inception here, me watching myself, bit odd. But I spoke about Anthony Martial and how he's been playing and how his career has gone at United and what we're seeing now, what we saw last month. And I asked whether you thought he was finished at Manchester United. That was my question. And honestly, the comments were a mixed bag. It's like just over 200 comments on here. Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. You got Rory here saying he just seems kind of directionless to me at the moment. I'll pull this up full screen. See your comments here on the screen. He seems kind of directionless to me at the moment, but I think he's not a priority among the players we need to offload. If we can, I prefer to hold on to him and hope Ronaldo has an influence on him. Suppose we'll see by next summer. But the Rambler, you're saying, I've been a massive fan of Martial for years. I've always stood by him. But even I have to admit, you're right. He's finished at this club. Greenwood, a 19-year-old, has already overshadowed him. It's time for him to go. That sounds like bloody Claude. R.I.P. Claude. It's a strange one with Martial. I don't normally do videos like this. I think you all really know that, don't you? I don't go out and sort of say something as strong as that. But I feel really quite strongly about about that idea. I don't think Anthony Martial's got a future at Manchester United. I think if Manchester United get, and as the article here coming from James Ducker showed in the Telegraph, saying, look, Anthony Martial looks like a man on borrowed time at United. The full article, he goes into to describe and explain that Manchester United are going to be willing to sell him during January if the right bid comes in, and he'll be on the list of players to be sold come the summer. Anthony Martial, I really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, wanted him to nail it. Kick on from that year where we want player of the season, 23 goals. Martial looked great. Last year, he just fell off a cliff completely. He fell off a cliff completely. And then this season, he started in exactly the same form. And if you're looking at our options up front, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Greenwood, and we've got Cavani. That's three strikers who are ahead of Anthony Martial. We've got Rashford on the left wing. He's not our first choice on the left wing. He's not a right winger. You probably put Elanga in to get game time in ahead of Martial now. Elanga looking okay, played left back. That was a bit weird, wasn't it, against West Ham? Anthony Martial's not first choice in any position. Anthony Martial's not second choice in any position. Therefore, he is the concept of him leaving is very obviously possible. And in my opinion, I think it's correct. And that's why I said I think he's finished at United. I just can't see. Look, I'd love to be proven wrong. It's not like I've been proven wrong with De Gea. I said this summer that felt like the right time for Manchester United to move De Gea on because we had Henderson coming in. Then Henderson got long COVID. De Gea got that new opportunity, and he's taken it with both hands. And he looks fantastic. I'm actually going to speak about De Gea in a little bit and his renaissance and his rebirth, so don't worry about that. But Martial, he's just never taken any chances, never taken any opportunities presented to him. And De Gea is a perfect comparison by example. Somebody who was first choice previously, somebody who shone previously, who fell out of favour and has come back stronger and better. And Martial's gone the other way. Martial's gone the other way. Sushant, you're saying we should sell in. Joe, you're saying, I always love that sentence, consistently inconsistent. Don't know why I like that sentence so much, but that's exactly what he is. He is consistently inconsistent. Anuj, you're right there. 300 people watching, only 60 likes. Come on, people. You're just watching. Hit that like button. Get involved. If we reach 1,000 likes on this video, maybe I'll do another giveaway. Why not? Got that Friday feeling. Got that Friday feeling. But honestly, it's mad how some people say that fan channels thrive on negativity. United People's TV doesn't. When I've never thrived on negativity. I've never been one to shout huge reactionary things. In fact, I think it's dangerous for that to be done. I think it's dangerous for the club, and it doesn't represent the fan base properly. When United lose, United People's TV goes. Blah, blah, blah. When United win, it goes. Blah, blah, blah. People on United People's TV, there's more people here when we win, and there's less people here when we lose. And you can definitely tell that this week has been a week that Manchester United lost against West Ham. That's all I definitely will say. Sometimes a change is needed to perform, says Ian. I think Martial needs a change for him. He's not doing it for United. Look, he has done previously, but since, I don't know. It's over the course, and that's what I always do. I always try and give us. I don't do knee-jerk reactions because I know that 1 week football is a game of extremes. Only 4 weeks ago, a lot of us were saying that De Gea had no chance, and all of a sudden, he's looking like he's the best he's ever been. He's back to his best, and that's the swings that can happen in football. But Anthony Martial, I'm basing this video and I'm basing my opinion on him over the course of over a season now, and I've seen no change. And this summer, he's come back. It's like Donny van de Beek could have come back into United this summer, like slouched. Didn't get chances last year. I'm not going to get any chances this year. I don't want to put the effort in. He didn't. He got a personal trainer. He put even more effort in during the summer. He's come back and forced his way into contention and forced, in my opinion, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to question his loyalty to Fred. Because the two performances now against West Ham and Young Boys, Van der Beek has done very well. On the other hand, as I said, Martial, he's not doing it by comparison. We've seen Van der Beek come against adversity and he looks a better player for it. We've seen De Gea come against adversity and he's come through it and seen a better player. The response that we've seen from Martial by comparison doesn't reflect that. And when you've got players like Bruno and Ronaldo in, the levels have changed. The expectations of you have changed. And the acceptance of your levels has changed and gone up. Chris, you're saying he needs to be sold in January and get a CDM with the money. I mean, that would be nice. That would be nice. It strikes me as United probably won't do that because United don't really invest all the money that we sell. But United proved me wrong, substantially wrong, not completely wrong in the transfer market this summer with Varane, Ronaldo, and Sancho. We didn't get that DM we wanted, but we got a lot of good. We had a really good summer overall. We did. I think I gave it like 8.5 out of 10. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. That last two, of course, was that central midfielder. I'm always here, says Reggae, whether we win or lose. In my opinion, we should sell Martial and sign Bissouma in January. Brighton, I tell you what, they've started this season very, very well, haven't they? Be excited to see how they get on. And as I said, in terms of players who have started this season very, very well, boom, De Gea. How De Gea pressed the reset button on his Manchester United career. If you're not a subscriber to The Athletic, genuinely, I'd encourage you to do so. Great articles, great writers on there. This one's written by Adam Kraft and Laurie Whitwell. Discusses sort of, as I said, the return of David De Gea. It goes into a little bit of detail down here. Let me go down to the point where I found most interesting. The roots of his recovery can be tracked back to the final moments of that pitch, on that pitch in Gdansk. As the Spaniard exited the pitch, he found one of his staunchest allies waiting for him by the entrance to the tunnel. Sir Alex Ferguson had rarely ventured close to the field of play since retiring, but on that occasion, he felt a duty to protect and support a player he brought to the club. It goes on to say about sort of the lack of options that De Gea had, so he couldn't really leave. And then he was saying that De Gea wanted to re-establish himself there as the undisputed first team choice for both club and for country. The desire was only enhanced when United invested in the market, and that was a big impact that maybe Manchester United have had on everybody. As I said, United, we flexed in the summer. Puffed our, I always saying, I've got to get a better bloody saying, puffed our chest out, and we acted like United in the summer transfer market. And now we're starting to act like it in terms of the results in the Premier League. And De Gea, I think it's definitely contributed to the levels of quality of him. And he looks, as I said, De Gea is looking like he's in his best form in a long, long time. In a long, long time. De Gea always stayed quietly confident that his highest level remains higher than that of Dean Henderson, whom the Spaniard recognizes as an ambitious and talented goalkeeper. This is a nice little line. It's one thing knowing it and another thing showing it. And De Gea knows it and he showed it. And I completely agree with that sentence there as well. De Gea's level is definitely higher than Henderson's right now. De Gea's world class. Dean Henderson's class. He's still got plenty to grow as a goalkeeper. And right now he can't complain. He cannot complain that Dean is getting kept out. Simple as that. Because De Gea is playing so, so well. Let's go down to the comments, see what you're thinking. Jonathan, we acted like United, all right? Spent 75 mil on a bencher. That Sancho will come good, man. I'm definitely going to do a video in support of Sancho quite soon. Maybe next week. Because I'm seeing some mad shit being said about Sancho. Mad stuff. It's toxic. It's not going to help. It's not going to help. So I want to do a video on that. What's that saying? Come on, Sam. Put the video up. The celebration with the team and De Gea. I haven't got that. But that was cracking to see after the penalty save against West Ham. Everybody crowded round David De Gea, didn't they? Everyone crowded around because you knew how much it meant to him. And obviously I think penalties have been a massive mental block, and it's something that article goes on to describe. Been a massive mental block for him because he hadn't saved one for so long. And then the Europa League final, he conceded bloody 11. And then he missed one. Oh my God, penalties for him are like the thing he wakes up in cold sweats in nightmares. That's why that West Ham moment was so, so important. Matt saying, I love De Gea and always have. I've been disappointed by his performances over the past few years, and I'm so happy to see him back to his best. Look, De Gea, if we hadn't had De Gea since Fergie retired, we would have fallen so much further as a football club. De Gea was he was at the bottom, just like this, like arms out against the walls, legs against the walls, like basically a one-man safety net, stopping United dropping further. That's what De Gea has done. And he's worked under Fergie and he's won the league. He's worked under Moyes and seen the damage there. He's worked under Van Gaal and seen the damage there. He's worked under Mourinho and seen the damage there. He's worked under Solskjaer and seen some damage but seen progress. And now he's only 30. I think he's only 30. That's madness. Let me check. I'm pretty sure David De Gea is only 30 years old. Only 30. Well, 31 in November. We'll call him 31. Well, he's not. He's 30 until he's 31. But ding. Little reference there for anyone who remembers where that's from. De Gea has got 5, 6, hell, maybe 7 or 8 years left in him. Goalkeepers go longer. And De Gea, right now, he's back to his best. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. As I said, he supported our club in the darkest of times. And he's come through some dark times with different managers. He's seen the good days at United and he's seen the darkest days at United. And he's been through all of it. He's very experienced. And I'm happy. I'm more than happy. Look, as I said this summer, I said it was the right time for De Gea to move on with his new family, his newborn child, Eden. I thought he was going to move back to Spain. I thought that's what him and his family would have wanted. But I underestimated De Gea's competitive and professional desire to become Manchester United's number one again. Maybe Fergie said something in his ear. Maybe something flicked. Maybe something switched. But it's definitely switched with David De Gea. And it's exactly what I'm saying there. That what we've seen there with David De Gea, we haven't seen that in Anthony Martial. What we've seen there in Donny van der Beek, we haven't seen that in Anthony Martial. It's not personal. It's not an agenda. But right now, I'm looking at things as a Manchester United fan and expecting these new levels that are coming in with Ronaldo and these new levels that are coming in with Bruno. So once upon a time in the last couple of years, I might have just sat back and said nothing. Nah, man, things are changing. Things are improving. Things are getting better. And therefore, the players have to match that level. And De Gea right now, sorry, Dean, he's probably not going to be getting a game in the Premier League or the Champions League this season. Not on this current form. Let me go down to the comments and see here. As A says, whip it out. Form is temporary. Class is permanent. I mean, they say forms are temporary. De Gea had bad form for a while, but you're right. Class is permanent. Bogdan, what are you saying? Only opinions that agree with the owner of the channel are allowed. If so, put it in the rules. Getting time out because I do not agree is pathetic. As I've said before to all the mods, and I've said this, I'll say it to you, Bogdan. Nobody get put in timeouts. No one do anything like that, please. If someone's got a different opinion, this is a channel about opinions. I'm not here. I'm not trying to force my opinion down your throat. If you've got an opinion that's different to me, I'll try and sway your opinion by facts, logical debate, and balanced conversation. But if people are disagreeing with you, you can't just shove someone in a timeout. So whoever's doing that, please don't do that. Let people say what they want to say, because what's the point in having an interactive show if I only then speak about people who agree with me? Kind of pointless. Let's go over and look at the next thing. And that is a certain Declan Rice. Declan Rice here. Manchester United to look elsewhere in the Declan Rice pursuit. This has come from ESPN. I believe Mark Ogden. He's saying this about Declan Rice. Let's go full screen here so you can see that. Ooh, look at that. Nice and full screen. Manchester United scouts have been instructed to identify alternative options to Declan Rice in the club's search for a defensive midfielder, amid concerns over West Ham's valuation of the player and contrasting opinions within Old Trafford over his ability to significantly improve the team. Rice emerged from the Euros, blah, 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 blah. Solskjaer remains an admirer of Rice. Sources told ESPN the club's recruitment team is yet to be convinced with the former Republic of Ireland youth international possesses the qualities to take the teams on another level. This bit here is quite interesting. Some sources said some figures at United have cast doubt on whether Rice is quick enough with and without the ball, and if he would be able to complement the qualities of Scott McTominay rather than replace them. Now, you let me know what you think in the comments below to that. But ESPN saying that Manchester United are concerned. Not everybody at Manchester United is a huge Declan Rice fan. And it basically reflects what Manchester United, the fan base is, right? Some people love Declan Rice. Some people think that Declan Rice is an excellent midfielder who can come in and do so much and improve Manchester United's team. Others think that Declan Rice isn't good enough for Manchester United, isn't worth that much money, and we should be looking elsewhere at players like Basuma or Ndidi or Neves or Saul Niguez, who's now gone to Chelsea, sorry. What's your take on Declan Rice? Honestly, let me know in the comments below here. This will be an interesting one because it's definitely a split base, whether you're pro Rice or against Rice. With a player like Rafael Varane, it was 100% hell yeah. Hell yeah. With a player like Jadon Sancho, it was 100% hell yeah. With a player like Ronaldo, it was 200% hell to the yeah. with a player like Declan Rice, there is a big split among United fans. Some people believe that he's the right player that takes our midfield forward. Other people, other fans, don't think that's the case. Where do you stand? You let me know in the comments below. And if you put an opinion down there that I disagree with, I'm going to block you and leave you out. I'm joking. That's not what I'm going to do. Well, Ozzy, I'm not sure you're sitting on the fence there too much there, but you would take it up the pooper to sign Rice. What a trooper. Ah, dear. Destiny, no more English players, please. Why? We've got Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford. Well, you're not enjoying them? You don't want Mason Greenwood here anymore? What does it matter what nationality a player is? If they're good, they're great. Fine by me. If Chelsea go in for Rice, we are not getting him, says Chris. Obviously, did Rice come from the academy at Chelsea? I think he did. We certainly got... you're saying pro Rice. Ruben Neves is suitable. Ruben Neves is the best CDM. He moves the ball forward. He's an aggressor, says John. You all know what I think about Ruben Neves. But that didn't really happen. Sumya, if we can get him for good money, then why not? Looks to fit the profile we're looking for. As I said before, I think we could go back in for Declan Rice in January, depending on what West Ham do in Europe. But they started in Europe well. They won 2-0 away to Dinamo Zagreb. I don't really think that we'll see Declan Rice leave West Ham in January if West Ham are in the Europa League knockouts. If they qualify, I think he'll definitely stay. Rice is really not a good option, says Thomas. Takeoff. Thomas, you disagree, says Rice is good, but what about Tonali? Is that Tonali? Has he gone to Juve? Or is that a different one? I think it's a different one. Can't remember his name. We need Rice as Maxwell, but the price is discouraging. It depends. Matt, you're saying I think it can be a bit negative in terms of doesn't go forward with the ball. But then if you saw his goal that he scored against Dinamo Zagreb away, he won the ball in his own half, ran it 50 yards forward and scored with his left foot. So Declan Rice has got the capability. It all depends on the team he's in, I suppose. Locatelli, that was the one I was thinking. Thank you, Ian. Locatelli went to Juve. Tonali went to AC. Look, there's plenty of options available. But what has become blindingly obvious here is that Manchester United are not going to go for a full-out defensive midfielder, not an Ndidi player. We're looking for central midfielders. Solskjaer wants 3 central midfielders to play the 3 central midfield positions, someone who can do a bit of everything. And that's why someone like Declan Rice, I can see that suiting us. Hi, Sam. If I can ask you, which CDM do you want Manchester United to buy? I always said Ruben Neves one that suited me, and still I firmly believe that if Ruben Neves was to come in, he'd be a fantastic signing for Manchester United and would go up a level. But I think come January time, I want to reassess. I want to let the next couple of months play out, see how United play, and then really take a look at what midfielder I think will suit that, because I think we're going to play a slightly different way. Especially remember what happens when Rashford comes back in, and we're going to be seeing Paul Pogba drop into midfield. That's definitely going to happen. Abhishek, how you doing, my man? Nice to see you become a YouTube member. Anybody else fancies joining Abhishek? It's Friday. Hit that like button, subscribe, and if you want to, just hit that join button down below on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, join the group there. By the way, on Facebook, I've now realized I didn't set the notifications for the group in there. Plenty of good conversation going on in the Facebook supporters group. I've set my notifications on, so I should be getting involved in that conversation a lot more. But if you'd like to join Abhishek, hit that join button down below. It's the price of a pint. It's basically like you buying me a drink, and I deserve a drink. So can you buy me one, please? And no, all the money goes back into the channel. You know that. Well, first of all, my name's not Mark. I think you're on the wrong channel there, my friend. Don't be too disappointed, though. Would I prefer Bellingham or Declan Rice? Ooh. That's a hard one. I would probably say Bellingham. Off the top of my head, I would say Bellingham. I would have to think about it a little bit more. But immediately my reaction would be Bellingham. But then I'd be like, I'd sit back and I'd think about it a little bit more. Sam, what do I think about Leon Goretzka? Casper, how you doing? You only joined last week, didn't you? Nice to see you. Leon Goretzka, I think, is signing a new contract at Bayern Munich. And I don't think we should even have a conversation about Leon Goretzka, because I don't think that is going to happen in any way, shape or forms. Jonathan, you're saying Barella is class and a massive upgrade on Fred. Hey, look, Van der Beek, we can argue is about massive upgrade on Fred, and we're not using him. Would we spend 75 million on Rice or Haaland? Haaland all the way, boys. That's an easy question. That's an easy answer. Of course, that's 75 million on Haaland. No questions. Sam, when are you coming to Dublin, says Maxwell. When you invite me out there. When was the last time I went to Ireland? Went to Ireland. I've got family over in Ireland. Well, Northern Ireland. Last time I went to the Republic was a few years ago. Abhishek, hi Sam, happy to support the channel. Thank you very much, Abhishek. This community, man, I'm really enjoying it. It's growing slowly, but it's growing slowly but surely. We got a UPTV mods WhatsApp group set up. Maybe I need to set up a conversation, a place where I have set up a whole. Look, let me get this in the comments now. Actually, I keep saying this. I've set up we've got a Discord server. There's thousands of us on there already, and inside that Discord server, there is a channel for members only. There is a channel in there, so you can join. I'll put the link in the description there. You can head over there, join the Discord, and drop me a DM. My name is, funnily enough, Sam Peoples on there. Drop me a DM if you remember. I'll get you added into the members only group chat in there. And I want to get, because there's hundreds of us now. I want to get us all in there. We can have a nice United conversation. But Man United are playing tomorrow, early kickoff. I'll be here at 11:30. The Arms is going to be open. I might not be drinking that early in the morning because I'm not an alcoholic. But United are playing Villa, early kickoff. We need to get that win. My starting 11 is going to be out at 1 p.m. today. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you drop a like on that video. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. But thank you very much for joining in today. I've enjoyed it. Enjoy your Friday. Sorry that the map ran out of pins. I need to get that sorted. But we did get Scarborough on the map, and that's the most important thing. But everybody have a cracking Friday. I'll speak to you soon. I think I might start doing press conference reactions. I won't do it this time, but maybe I'll start doing it. Drop a like on the video if you want me to do that. But anyway, everybody, have a cracking day.